Wow, amazing. Check it. Episode 142 of the A2 Show. Yeah, we're back with Kenny again. And this time comes Master Sifu, Alan, and his baby. Welcome to the show. Our youngest guest on the show. Yeah. Thank you both
Yeah,
for.
I turned 6 months.
Oh, he's turning 6 months now. Awesome.
He turned 6 months on the 4th. So if he
Oh.
is your youngest guest on the podcast, then
That's for sure. All
yeah,
right.
you
Hey.
have a
Amazing.
yeah, I guess
Mhm.
bar now. So if you get somebody less than 6 months, then that will be your
Oh
youngest.
yeah, that's we have a new bar, right? Uh-huh. Alan, I
Yeah,
just want to know truly what what are all the weapons behind you? I see an axe. I see some katana, some swords,
yeah.
right?
So
Some
I have
bow and arrow.
many martial arts. So you see up here is um, basically bow and arrow. It's my Filipino roots, actually going hunting in the jungle and stuff. There is a katana up there, and then a traditional straight sword from the Chinese uh, sect, and then we have a Chinese broadsword, a bunch of Nerf swords because you always want to keep the kid inside of you happy.
Hmm.
That's a Nerf axe up there. There's a
Oh
battle
yeah.
axe that's
Oh, you have a
level
real.
here, but
Awesome.
yeah, I have those
Mhm.
too.
He
Um,
literally has one.
there's there's a memorial and an epee and a saber up there, and then a bunch of lightsabers as well. So
Oh, nice. You have the whole deck. And which one, if you went into battle now, which weapon would you use first? What's your weapon of choice?
probably the Chinese straight sword,
The Chinese
GN.
straight sword?
Yeah.
Cool. What about it? Is it just like fast?
It's basically the closest thing I can use for like an all comers sort of thing. Chinese straight sword is basically the officer's weapon, so you are supposed to be able to take on anything with it. And I've done I think more hours with that than any other weapon.
All right. Cool.
So I'm the most comfortable with that, I guess.
What about you, Kenny? Is Do you feel more comfortable with any certain weapons?
I would say a staff,
There's
but
one behind you. You have a
Mhm.
staff behind you.
yes, that's the bamboo staff I just play around with all the time. But yeah, since I like playing around and dress up as Darth Maul and just spin stuff, so that's my one of my usual go-to weapons. Though sword-wise, I could say the same thing as my master, the straight sword, and also the katana, because actually my sharpest sword is my katana. So I have actually one good battle ready sword in case shit hits the fan.
Oh, I see. And
You might never know; it might happen soon.
I mean, you never know really, but I mean, it's not likely to happen that you're gonna actually have to use these weapons to go out on war. But back in the day, it really was
Gotcha.
like a reality. Like you need to train so that you can be prepared in case a battle happen. And then battles then would
People
be.
always used to say, you use your kung fu to get to your pistol, then your pistol to get to your shotgun, then your shotgun to get to your rifle,
Yes.
I
and then
see.
your rifle to get to your surface to air missile. So
I see. So yeah,
there's
it's.
a little bit of
Mhm,
escalation.
mhm. You think? Yeah. Well, now I guess like people don't need to learn kung fu or these weapons to actually learn how to fight because there are other weapons. I guess like guns and rifles and um. Is it have? Is it
Right,
like the training of
right.
weapons? Is it like weaker now? Are people less practicing of all these weapons just because it's not like practical anymore? Has it moved to more like the martial arts as opposed to like the fighting
I,
side?
you get what you want to get out of it,
Hmm.
right? So most people start martial arts, and the easiest thing to do is to learn how to use their body. So if I wouldn't give let's say I wouldn't give a 357 Magnum to a toddler, right?
Sure.
They don't even know how to use their hands yet or their feet. So same thing, martial arts. You start off open hand, and so you start there. And once you have a good solid foundation with that, then we can start talking about weapons and putting things, extending your focus and stuff like that. Most people want to learn them, but there is a certain amount of discipline required in order to create the extension to the weapon. the extension of focus, basically. So if you have the focus, if you have the discipline to train in a weapon, you will get proficient at it. But that's true at anything. If you have the focus and the discipline to learn how to program a computer, then you'll get really good at it. It's the same principle.
Yeah.
So nowadays, people are using martial arts, things that were considered mainly martial arts principles, in other things. They just that level of kung fu
Hmm.
is relatable to all things, right? So if we talk about kung fu, right? Kung fu, it means great skill. Like if you look at the characters of kung fu, the first character is a guy pushing a plow, so it means work, right? The second is a tree coming out of the ground, so it means time. So with enough work, with enough time, you'll have kung fu, great skill. So that's kind of how it works with everything. So however many hours you have, into a specific um, activity, you'll get good at.
Wow. I mean, it makes sense, right? The more repetition, the more focus, the more it becomes natural to you.
Absolutely.
I want to ask you, what do you recommend if someone's new to martial arts, like a young kid wants to learn a different martial art? I don't know what they're confused. I don't know. Do want to learn jiu-jitsu or kung fu or any of the so many martial arts? What do you recommend?
Uh, how old is the child?
Um, let's say they're like 13.
Okay, 13.
Hmm.
Okay then.
At 13 years old, you kind of have a good idea already of what you want, right? If we were talking about like 5 to 8, 8 to 12, this would be a different answer as well. But if you're 13 years old, you have a good idea of what you want. So the question then becomes, what do you want to get out of this? Do you want to just learn self-defense? Do you want to learn how to fight? Because those are two different things. Or do you want to learn how to take your energy and focus it into something that will make you better at other things? So once again, it becomes another question of what do you want out of your martial arts? Because you'll get out of it what you put into it.
I see. All right. And I mean, that's a great answer. So for someone like me who's in my 20s, if I'm not really haven't been into martial arts too much, but now I want to learn more about it. Um, how do I get started learning about it and practicing it?
Sure. Well, again, what do you want to get out of it? Some people want to fight in a cage, which is great. Some people want to uh, be the next, you know, action superstar on in Hollywood. Great. That's
Mm.
those are diametrically opposed, but still good, right? Whatever your intention is. Some people just want to get stress relief out of it. So really, what do you want out of it? So let me ask you, what do
Yeah,
you
what do
want?
I want out of it? Sure. Yeah, it'd be let's say like I like moving. I like moving my body. I like it's a great feeling and it's a good de-stressor.
Sure.
And
Okay.
yeah,
You want to relieve stress and you want to actually use this as a form of exercise. Great. So in that sense, you can do any sort of aerobic activity. So the next question is, why martial arts? Why did you pick martial arts instead of cycling or
that's true.
hiking or
Hmm.
rock climbing? Those are all great.
Or
Why did
Zumba.
you walk into the martial arts school?
Hmm.
What drew you here?
But it's the honestly, it's the knowledge and wisdom behind the actual movement. So like I know like how to skateboard and stuff, and it's cool. I move my body and it's feels great, but it's not the same as from last time I spoke to Kenny is like every move and every maneuver is just like a lesson on how to fight or how to live your life. And by practicing it, you're learning new things, other than just skills, but more of a philosophical aspect to it. Is that
Right.
right?
That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Hmm.
Well, there is no wrong answer because
Oh,
it's
I
right.
see. So whatever I think of it, I
So,
guess, right? Yeah.
so
Yes.
if that's the case,
Hmm.
what I understood from your answer is that you like the fact that there's history and philosophy behind everything.
Yes.
It's not just climbing a mountain, right? It's not
Hmm.
just riding your bike from here to, Mexico City or whatever. Okay, great. So now I know that you're somebody that wants to move and to actually, use this because whatever stressors you have in your life, this is a way for you to kind of get away from them. So as an instructor, I know that about you now after asking those questions. And the fact that you are interested in the history and the philosophy, that means that, okay, you'll actually stick around a little bit longer because you know that there's something behind everything. So as a instructor, and you're trying to, coming in and being somebody new, that means that, you know what, I think you should be able to pull this off because you have something outside of yourself that will allow you to hold up the mirror and see yourself. You'll actually be able to see your progress based on, something outside of you, not just, you know, something inside of you. Oh, I'm just doing this for fun. Okay, good. So now we actually have a roadmap.
Yeah.
You told me where you want to go. Great. Why did you want to go there? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's up to me as an instructor, as a guide, to tell you, okay, these are the steps. This is what you need to do in order to get from Phoenix to Boston. You don't want to end up, in Washington State. We want to get closer to Washington, D.C. So I have to make sure that you're on your way there. So the first step is showing up. Can you actually show up? And can you do that consistently?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. As you show up, we have to find out where you're starting. Okay, so where are we? Can we touch our toes, while standing up? Can we have enough focus to count while we're doing something? Something else with our body. Can we actually shut off all the electronics, all of the stuff, kind of can we detach ourselves from everything else and just be in our
focused body? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can we have our mind focused on one thing and help our body? Okay, great. So now we create what we like to call controlled trauma, right?
Controlled trauma.
Controlled.
Okay.
It's basically, you're going to put your body through a bunch of exercises and postures and positions in order to show you where you are. How can you break your limitations if you don't know what your limitations are? So let's see how long you can stand in a horse stance. Let's see if you can touch your toes. Where's your flexibility? Where's your strength? Where's your coordination at? Okay, so everything that's done in a good martial arts warm-up is actually checking those for you.
Oh,
right?
I see. Yeah.
So if you are supposed to, we do an exercise, a drill called punch kick punch, right? So if you have your right hand out and your right leg back and your left hand chambered to your side, and then you're going to punch with your left hand and kick with your right leg at the same time, you elbow back with your right hand. Then go back into the original position. So you're going to punch and you're going to kick, and then you're going to punch again to end up in the same position, right? So now if we were to do that, right, can you do 10 of them? Or let's start slow. Can you do one of them?
One of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have the coordination to do one? Okay, now can you do 10? Great. Now can you do 20? Great. Now can you do 50? Great. Can you do it to 100? So now we know where you are in coordination.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you wouldn't start that way, but it's a thing, right? So can you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth? Can you use your voice while you can you ki basically as you move?
Kia.
So all these things tell you where you are on your first day.
I see. All right.
The very first time you do anything, you're going to be like, okay, this is where I am. Do I want to get better, or am I good where I am right now?
Right. Yeah. This isn't the case for me, but for some people, it's very hard to commit to something difficult. Everyone's always like, I'm too old to try a new thing, especially with physical activity. Like, you're too old to learn. I guess that's the answer, right? Just no excuse. You just have to push your limits and set your mind to something and try to learn something new every day.
Well, that would we would say then, if you were in the school and you were to say, I'm too old to try something new, I would ask you why you're here. Then why are you here?
Yeah, because you wanted
Are you here
it.
just to look at a fishbowl because my students are not fish, right?
Why are you
I
here?
would go
Yeah,
to
might as
I would
well.
go to YouTube
Mhm.
or I would go to Netflix and go watch a kung fu movie. It actually has a better story than what you're going to see here. Okay, so why are you here? That's the biggest question.
Mhm. Wow. No, no, that's great. I mean, might as well. The hardest step is just showing up, and then after showing up, you just need to commit.
Mhm.
I want to ask you.
Actually, much harder.
It's true.
A lot
When
more
it
harder and more
love.
pain.
Well, yeah, I was gonna ask you about the pain. So, like, you're bound if you're doing physical sport and athletics and martial arts, you're gonna hurt yourself. It's just part of the process, right? So if
Mhm.
people are like, I'm too old to get hurt, or I don't like pain, or I really don't want to confront like any kind of physical pain that could happen. Um, I mean, how do you like? What do you say about that?
Again, it's why are you here? Most
Why are you
most of
here?
the most of the people that say that are not there to do uh, self defense. They're not there to break boards, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're there for tai chi
Tai
or
Chi.
wellness
I
or
see.
learning how to walk again or learning how to deal with chronic pain. Great. Now I know why you're here. Here's what we do for that.
Brilliant.
Mhm.
I see.
So now we have a different set of parameters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how long can you stand still? Can you remember to breathe correctly? Can you breathe from your lower diaphragm? Okay, great. Can you actually, can you get up out of your chair without too much uh, preamble? Or do you need a chair to do these exercises? So again, there's like a check in with your body, but a different check in. If you're here for wellness, your general wellness, and just kind of, hey, maybe you're 80 years old and you're like, well, I've done everything else in the world. Might as well try this. Ooh, this Tai Chi thing's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And we have space for you, but we again still have to know where we're starting. Again, I'm going to go back to the analogy of going from Phoenix to Boston. I got to know, are you in Phoenix or are we starting in Tucson, man? Because there's another highway to be had.
Mhm.
So it's kind of one of those things where uh, when a student starts, no matter the age, we have to ask why.
I
And
see.
once we can answer that question, then we can address two things. Because most students come in uh, trying to satisfy a curiosity, right? Every single person in martial arts or have started with trying to satisfy the curiosity of, hey, what's this going to be like? Is this like the movies? Am I going to have Mr. Miyagi from Karate Kid, or am I going to
Right.
have John Kreese from Cobra Kai? Who is this teacher, right? So most students will come in with two questions to satisfy their curiosity. One, can you teach me? Are you certified? Or do you actually know what you're doing? Or are you just trying to make up the stuff? It's crazy Alan's backyard kung fu. Or is this actually, like you said, have a martial arts tradition, a history and philosophy? Or is it, can you teach me?
Mhm.
Two different two different ways to look at the same thing. First, can you are you speaking my language? Am I in a group of like-minded individuals? If I'm here for Tai Chi, why is there a Rage in the cage on the floor? This is probably not my place, So you wouldn't go to a barbecue restaurant and ask for
Mhm.
a salad,
I see.
kind of,
Yeah,
right?
I mean that makes sense. Like if you're really not like if you don't want to go through any like physical struggle, maybe there are other kinds of martial arts that have less of that and more of movement.
Absolutely.
But so for someone like myself, for example, right? I wanna like I've been learning the skateboard, right? And one of the things my mom immediately told me, she's like, hey, you're gonna break an arm, watch out, you're gonna fall down, you're gonna hurt yourself. It's one of those things where it just
Wear a helmet.
happen, you're gonna hurt yourself. Wear a helmet. Well, that's true.
Right.
That's first, I guess. But in martial arts, like if if someone has that worry about going through like some kind of like pain, and they want to challenge themselves, but they're scared of you just need to commit sometimes. But if
Right.
you can't really commit because of that fear, how do you get past that fear?
First step is the fact that you showed up. Now we'll go back to that. The fact that you showed up means that you're willing to do it.
Mhm.
Now, to be honest, it will be hard, but anything worth doing won't be easy. So if that is your goal, to let's go by your analogy here. If your goal is to learn how to skateboard, know that these are the dangers, right? The ground is hard. Know that you'll hit the ground a lot. So you got to learn how to fall. You have to learn how to get back up. You have to summon the will to get back on that board. And then once you do that and you've got a good foundation, you know how to, push off one foot in order to get speed. Okay, there's another level. There's a skate park. There's a half pipe. There's an ollie and a bunch of other moves to do from it. So there's another level, another level, another level, another level, right? So if you go with that with Kung Fu or Tai Chi or Taekwondo or any other martial art, there's going to be a lot of horse stance, trying to build the muscles and tendons in order to do the more advanced moves later. You sit in a horse stance so you have a stronger kick, so you can actually have the endurance to actually train the whole hour. Yeah, it sucks and you're there for 5 minutes, but guess what? It's 12 times as long. You're gonna have to deal with being able to do that. So
Yeah.
Just like your analogy, you have to know going in, okay, I'm doing martial arts. Okay, I know that it's gonna take a while. I know it's a lifetime of learning. I know that there should be a place or another thing I want to get to. Okay, for most people it's black belt, right? Some people want to say I accomplished something.
Yes.
Great, black belt is it. It's like graduating high school.
Graduating high school.
So you've congratulations, you've learned how to learn. That's a first degree black belt.
Yeah.
Right. In most traditions, hey, good job, you put so much time, effort, and energy into this that congratulations, you are now ready to learn more. Which now you can go to different colleges, right? And you can go to trade schools, you can go into all that stuff. That's to myself and our lineage is what a first degree black belt is. Now you can specialize. Yeah. So like your analogy of hey, I want to learn how to skateboard. Great.
Skateboarding.
That part you can do.
Yeah.
Right.
But now, do you want to actually, go
Learn
on a
some,
half pipe?
learn some tricks.
You want to actually do a course? Do you want to actually compete? Oh man, there's so many things, right? So that's the same with martial arts.
Alan, I know this is a silly question, but is this skateboarding a martial art?
Yes.
Oh, it is. How?
Believe it or not, yes.
What makes it a martial art?
Okay, well, let's take a look at the words, right?
Okay.
Martial art, right? Martial is basically the fact that it is something that you drill over and over and over again, like the military, right? How many times have you gotten on your skateboard? How many times have you tried a specific technique and failed and done it over and over and over again until you got it right? I consider that pretty martial, and it's an art. Yes, every single skateboarder has their own style, has their own set of movement, has their own way of doing things. The comparisons are there. The culture might be different, but whatever. This focus and discipline for that specific skill is going to be the same focus and discipline you would use to be a great chef, let's say. It's the same focus and discipline it would take to build houses, build beautiful homes, right? It's the same thing. And that's why we call it Kung Fu and not Wushu, which is the translation for martial arts. Like in Chinese, Wushu actually means martial art.
Oh, I see.
We call it Kung Fu because it's great skill. You use that same skill, the same method to learn anything and apply it to everything in your life.
Wow, cool. I did not. I didn't know. Yeah, I did not think of it that way. Yeah, it's
Yes.
pretty cool. Just imagine. I don't know. Mind my ignorance, but it's like I just imagine it's more Eastern, like kung fu, karate. Just you think of that, you think of like those Eastern martial arts, right? I just never thought that it's not like I didn't think like something in America could be created as a martial art.
Oh yeah. Well, think
Yeah.
about it this way. Boxing is a martial art,
Boxing is, I guess,
right?
right.
Again, drills,
Wrestling too.
Wrestling.
wrestling,
Hmm.
professional wrestling like the WWE. That's a martial art.
Right.
A lot of repetition,
Undertaker took
Yeah.
a lot of time and effort.
and it's more art than martial. But I would say the martial part is very prevalent in it, right?
Mhm.
But the art is telling a story, right? Can you be invested in this fake person enough
Mhm.
to actually pay for the pay-per-view, or subscribe to their live feed or whatever it is? But yeah, there's so many things, and we as a culture kind of think of martial arts as fighting, right? But it's not really that, because there's many historical European martial arts as well, right? I said I have a
Like,
foil, a saber, and an epee up here
I
as
see.
well.
Hmm.
So there's that. There's
Mhm.
Polish saber. There's Zweihander, right? The big German greatsword, and all these wonderful, wonderful like ways to kill people, right? In, in the Western part of the world as well.
Uh-huh.
There's Native American martial arts,
Mhm.
right? There's a horse to horse
The
fighting,
horse.
and
Mhm.
the knife fighting is just amazing, right? There's a lot of things, but we as a culture tend to think martial arts is going to be just for combat,
Mhm.
right? But it's not. It's a
What is it
mind.
then? It's a mindset then.
Yeah,
I see.
it's a mindset. It's the same. It's the same. Like I said, focus and discipline it takes to do anything.
Mhm.
That to me is a martial art, right? Let's go with your skateboarding analogy again. How many hours do you think you put into skateboard? Probably about 10,000. In China, there's a big flag in Chen Village, I believe it is, that says 10,000. It has the number 10,000 on it. That basically means that you got to do it 10,000 times.
Wow.
You gotta do anything 10,000 times.
Yeah. Yes.
You got to do
We always
something
say
10,000
Ah.
times.
Yeah.
Right? We have a
Mhm.
saying in our school that we say, which is basically the rule of 10,000. So you got to do it 10 times just to remember you did it. You got to do it 100 times to do it right once. You got to do it 1,000 times to actually know what you're doing. And then you got to do it 10,000 times to do it without thinking. So if you're actually trying to master anything, then you're going to have to do it 10,000 times.
Wow. And the only way to do something 10,000 times is to do it every single day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you think about it, like if you, how many, this is how I explain it to parents. How many times have you told your kid to brush their teeth? Right? Have they done it
Yeah.
by themselves yet? No, you haven't told them 10,000 times yet. You've told them 10 times. Great.
Mhm.
They know what that brushing your teeth thing is. You told them 100 times. Oh, great. Now they've probably done it right once. So
Yeah.
you've told them, 1,000 times. Hey, you know what? They actually know what they're doing now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. By the
True.
10,000th time, you probably don't have to tell them anymore.
Mhm.
So that's kind of how it works for like
That's true.
anything. I mean,
Anything. I mean,
you apply it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't want to scare people by saying, hey, if you want to get good at anything, you have to do it 10,000 times. And that's the only way you can get good at it. I guess there are levels you'll reach as you're reaching that stage that you will learn a lot and you'll change a lot through. But the 10,000 times is what you need to commit to if you really want to become a master at something, right?
Yeah. Well, you can. Yeah. How many hours have people spent playing Skyrim?
A lot. Yes. Uh-huh.
Listen, 10,000 times is going to come. Think of it as an achievement unlocked.
Epic. Amazing.
10 papers right here.
Yeah.
That's yeah, you got to commit to it 10,000 times. Wow, to get
Well,
to
it's a
anything.
thing though. It's like once you get to 10,000, you've already lost count.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
I guess. Yeah. All right.
I mean,
And what? Yeah.
and you probably
So,
logged 10,000 hours in Skyrim by now. I'm not
Alan,
sure.
Alan, that's no. This is no. That's very much true. But the difference is, Alan, like you're more like focused. You can think of it. You're more mature. You can be like, hey, this is what I need to set my mind to 10,000 times. For like a kid, doing something 10 times is very difficult, right? Let
Right,
alone.
which is why you have to do it differently each
Mhm.
time. It doesn't mean you have to do it 10,000 times the exact same way, right? Because hopefully on the way to 10,000, you've learned to do it better, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So if you let's go with the video game thing, right? If you first get to the next level of wherever you are, right? First time you have no idea what's coming. The second time you have sort of an idea what's coming, but by the 100th time you've tried to do this level, you have the timing, hopefully, to duck the
Yeah.
fireball and jump over
I
the
see.
spike pit and to
Mhm.
be able to do all this stuff. So
Wow.
it's the
Mhm.
same idea with martial arts. To move your body, to be able to put your mind in the same mindset to know what's coming and know what's happening.
Mhm.
That's how you get good at anything.
Uh,
How you get
mhm.
fluid and kind of flow and go into that flow state
You've
uh,
so
that
you've
people
seen
talk
this,
about.
right? So you've seen people go through the process from like zero and building on and on and on up to the 1,000, right? So is it? Do you see like changes in the people, their personality, their confidence? I know you see changes as they go through this journey in martial
Absolutely.
arts.
Well,
Mhm.
I've taught probably more kids than adults,
Mhm.
but you see it more in kids. You see the difference like night and day in kids. For adults, you see it in subtler ways,
Okay.
right? For a kid, you can see the first day they're hiding behind their mom's legs,
Mhm.
right? And then by the time they're a black belt, they're yelling at the top of their lungs, they're kiing,
Mhm.
spinning kicks, and they're great. So in
Mhm.
that 36 to 72-month time, right? That you have a kid in the school trained to be a black belt. So 3 to 6 years is usually, you know, in any formative state, you'll see a difference. That's the easy part.
Mhm.
For adults, it's a little bit more subtle, uh, not just physically, but now you'll see them, they'll start getting their life together. They'll start applying their focus outside of the dojo. They'll start to go, you know what? That's a toxic relationship. I'm not getting what I want out of that. Okay, I'll end that relationship. I'll start to surround myself with people that are of more like mine, people that are growing instead of, you know,
What does that have to do with kung fu, though? Like a relationship you
absolutely
have?
everything. Have you not been listening?
No, I have. No, I
Casino on
understand what
Yum.
I understand what you're trying to say, but it's like, what does like being focused on something and getting confidence in doing something, right? Just anything will make you feel more confident to like
In
leave bad
everything.
relationships or bad
Yes.
toxic people because you feel like, okay, I have something that I have, at least my skill and training, right?
So yeah, so
Mhm.
let's do it. Think of it this way. Have you ever called up the friends you had in kindergarten?
Um, I guess.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably
Right?
not.
You remember your friends from third grade?
No, not really. No.
No.
Hmm.
How about how about let's say freshman year in high school?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm still close to some of my
So
friends from then.
you're a lot
Yeah.
closer to them
Hmm.
than you were those people over there,
Yeah.
right? In kindergarten and third grade. So if you're growing and the people around you are not, they'll start to resent it.
Oh
They'll
wow.
start to separate themselves from you.
Hmm.
You know, if you are genuinely enjoying life, enjoying yourself, enjoying the fact that, hey, you know what, my mind and my body are actually in this one place, so it's actually making me grow as a person, become a little bit more confident in myself. The people that were holding you down, the people that you are trying to help, um, kind of get out of their own funk, they tend to separate themselves from you. So I've seen many relationships go up and down. some for good, some for bad. In that world where, hey, you know what? When I first started, I was kind of meek. I didn't know how to use my voice, but by the time I got my black belt, I learned to speak up. I learned to ask for help. I learned to actually do this because I know that there's something that I can look forward to past where I am now. So, that being said, that's a skill unto itself. Most people can't ask for help. They were taught not to as a kid.
Oh.
So what we have to do is bring that voice out of them, right? Bring your inner voice, make it your outer voice. Part of the art of martial arts is the expression of yourself. So usually it's going to be your body, right? Because that's easiest, because it's outside and everybody can see it. But what's going on in your head right now? I don't know. I just see you nodding your head.
It's true. Yeah.
So in that sense, your own relationship with yourself changes. And once your relationship with yourself changes, then your relationship with everybody else does too. And that's what it has to do with Kung Fu. That's what it has to do with martial arts.
I see. Wow. I mean, in addition to that, I can imagine like just being focused for a couple hours without like your phone or any kind of like stimulus, right? It's just you practicing a certain skill over and over again. That might
Absolutely.
give you a clearer head, and right?
Yes.
Yes,
wow. It's an endorphin rush.
Oh yeah.
You get all the good drugs that your hypothalamus makes. And
naturally. Yeah.
And you get it naturally, and it's I want to say it's by design, but I think it's just actually a side effect of actually being a human.
It's a side effect. Yeah. And when you achieve something great, like when you learn a new move or in skating learn a new trick, it's like the best feeling, right?
Yeah.
You had conquered something and you learned something new.
Those endorphins rushing through you. You're like, yes, I've done it. Why do we watch sports? Is it because we actually like watching the guy with a funny shaped ball run past a little chalk line? No. It's because we actually see ourselves as that person. It's you know what the Good Samaritan effect is, right?
What's that? No.
So if I were to watch a Boy Scout help a little lady across the street, I feel good. Basically, as humanity, I mean, we're not a hive mind, but we kind of are.
We kind of are,
but we're not.
I see myself helping that old lady, which makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Because I have hope for humanity. That kid's gonna end up being awesome. Great. Same reason for sports, Oh man, that guy caught the ball and he ran 80 yards. I could do that. You know what? I probably can't physically, but I'm there with him. He's part of my team. Why do we get a rush out of that? It's because we have hope for humanity. It's because we see ourselves at the weird basis subconscious level as that person doing good. So when you actually ace that skateboarding trick, right? Or when you learn a new throw and you got it right and you didn't, you didn't fall on top of your partner or whatever it is. Hey, you know what? That's awesome. Why do we watch Olympics? I mean, that's why, because holy crap, humans are great. I mean, I might be stuck on the couch, but whatever. I could do that if I work at it. Do I have the discipline to do that though? That's the hard part.
Yes. It's true. And it's, I mean, wow, what I love about like martial arts and physical skill is that it's also something in your control. Like you feel positive about it just because you know that if you commit yourself with enough time and practice and dedication, these things will change. A lot of times people try to focus too much on things they can't control, whether it's like politics or external influences, and then they get in a cycle of like negativity, and it's just very bad look in life. Versus when you can control something, you feel like more positive about the world and yourself.
Absolutely. Well, my teachers always said that you can't move the mind with the mind. You can't. As much as I want to have you like Luigi instead of Mario, I can't do that with my mind, right? I might be able to, move my mouth and try to convince you that no, actually Mario is better. But, you have to use the body to move the mind. And that's why we like sports. That's why we like to get out and do things. Is that now the hardest part is to actually move your body. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Get up
Where
off the
we
couch.
come in.
Listen to your watch when it tells you to stand up.
Mhm.
Make sure to actually go do something. Now, I mean, it's hard because we're in a quarantine and everything like that.
Mhm.
But there's plenty of stuff that you can still do in your home.
Like
Uh,
what?
to-
What do you
to do.
recommend? People try to
Well,
do at home.
there is plenty of subscription services that allow you to do workouts. I've seen a couple of them for physical stuff, doing like workouts at home using just a yoga mat. There's a bunch of yoga.
Mhm.
I think there's a couple of yoga ones out there if you're into yoga. But that even yoga has the same martial arts principles in it. Because you got to do it a lot. And then there's a bunch of different places as well that allow. I think there's some subscription services that allow you to do different trade things. There's things that allow you to do like how to blacksmith from home and all sorts of wacky
Yeah.
stuff,
Uh-huh.
whatever you're into.
Mhm.
But you're not just sitting on the couch eating bonbons,
Right.
running
Mhm.
from the inside because your body's not moving. You actually are now getting up. You're doing stuff. If you're learning how to cook, there's plenty of cooking academies online as well. So you're up in the kitchen. You're doing stuff. That's kind of the thing. You still have to move your body to.
Cook.
To
Is
yeah.
cooking
Well, yeah.
is
And,
cooking
and you
also
have
martial
to,
arts?
yeah,
Oh yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
There's a ton of subscription services,
Mhm.
and I'm not gonna shout out any which
Sure.
one, but there's a ton of places.
Mhm.
If you have kids, even I'm sure Grandmaster Google will help you out with
Mhm.
anything.
Yes.
Yes.
He knows a lot, man.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
So many
And he'll
followers too.
everything.
Mhm.
But that's the thing is
Mhm.
as you go in and do martial arts, you start to realize that it's the same. It's the same.
Yes. I see.
Everything that you learn in martial arts,
Mhm.
with the exception of how to actually hurt people, is going to be applied to everything.
I see. I want to move on to what do you think makes
Mhm.
we're at a time right now where like people are watching videos online to learn new things as opposed to like maybe meeting with different instructors and who like can help you learn things. So what makes a good instructor and how is it more beneficial to learn from an actual person than
Oh
from a
man,
video? Mhm.
what
Well,
a loaded
it's
question!
better in person. I'll tell you that for sure.
What a loaded
Yeah.
question.
Mhm.
Okay, when you are in front of somebody, they can automatically correct you. There is a physical something very what's the best word to use this? Humbling, I guess would be right. Something humbling about having a teacher in front of you going, "Hey, move this foot, do this, do that." They don't even have to touch you, but somebody that's there. Whereas when you're on a Zoom call or any sort of things, who knows if they see it? Maybe they're looking at the ukulele thing behind you. You
Yeah.
know,
Uh-huh.
I don't know. But when
Mhm.
when we're in a physical space, then my all my attention's on you specifically. I
Mhm.
can actually stand right next to you and say, okay, see how my foot is like this, instead of, okay, let me adjust my camera. All right, hold on.
Right.
That's the difference. It's the speed at which we communicate, when we're in the same room, is actually still, not reproducible. Not until we have a holodeck, right? Can we actually, you know, until we have the Zoom holodeck, you
Yes.
know,
Like yeah, uh-huh. Star Wars
Elon
style,
Musk is
right?
working.
Mm-hmm.
so
Mhm.
that's kind of the thing. If
I
we
see.
can pull this off, you know, right now, again, crazy times,
Yes.
but we have the communication ability to still connect and actually, help each other that way. great, but it's still limited.
Mhm.
You know, that's the difference.
So then,
Is-
yeah, try when things get better, hopefully to go back out and get more confidence to.
well, absolutely.
Notice-
When the internet is great because it keeps us, you know, connected. However, there's nothing to be said about constant ongoing practice in front of somebody that can help you immediately,
Yes.
you know.
Mhm.
So let me put it this way: can open heart surgery be done over Zoom?
No.
Probably.
No.
Not so
Probably.
much anymore.
Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, with a robot
As
and a
like a
machine.
consultant,
Yeah, as a
but
consultant.
somebody's hands still have to be in there,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So it's kind of the same thing with
Mhm.
any sort of internet teaching or coaching.
I see.
Again, can't change the mind with the mind.
Mhm.
And all this is just, you know, talking.
Talking. This true.
The best thing I could do is say, oh, okay, go this. All right. But I can't go over there and just like tap your foot or, you
Right.
know,
Mhm.
Yes.
or do that. I feel like you can't quite do certain things over Zoom
Mhm.
or over conferencing. It'd be really hard to teach triangle choke over Zoom, I think. Stuff like that, you know, any
Yes.
sort of grappling art is going to be
Mhm.
tough.
Right.
Yes. Mhm.
Unless again you have there's a third person,
Right.
you know, there's no it's very hard to do a private lesson over it unless it's a not applicable skill.
Yes.
You know,
Mhm.
I can't do the application right away,
Mhm.
right?
Just
Even if it
training.
was like let's say if you're doing Zoom cooking academy, right? That's great, but you still have to have food in front of you, otherwise you're just talking.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, you need to actually learn how to do it. There, you learn something so different when you're
Yeah,
actually doing the thing versus like when you're speaking and talking about it. Mhm.
absolutely.
Yes.
And many people learn differently. Like there's the visual, kinesthetic, and audio, and some people can get off the part from learn from just hearing, like what's talking. But most people were combination of all three. I say myself as visual and kinesthetic. Like Alan said, that hey, sometimes you need to see have the teacher right in front of me and say, oh, I'm supposed to have my foot that way or my hand this way. So many people learn differently. So
Mhm.
Zoom can be great for people auditory, but for the people that are like visual and kinesthetic or just do it, then it's gonna be rough.
Amazing. Kenny, I want to ask you, how long have you been now teaching martial arts, being
Teaching.
instructor? Yes,
I officially started teaching, I want to say 5 years ago.
I see.
5 or even more, because I got into this program before I became a black belt, and that's where I started, getting into the ropes of becoming an instructor. Like first of all, being a help around existing teachers, what so have you, watching my master right now, and so forth, and there's also getting the practice in by actually teaching the actual classes, and I had some practices doing outside gigs when I was in college. So I think I mentioned before the other Ali, I went to libraries, colleges, schools, and especially little elementary schools. And boy, that's rough. I'll tell you that. but yes, that's how I got my teaching hours is by through experience, and of course I have a great community of other teachers who wants to bring me up, and that's how I managed to become a teacher as of right now. And I'm doing the same thing right now with the younger new black belts. We call it junior instructors. So past.
Yes. Wow. All right. Cool. And our time is ramping up here, but I want to ask you, Alan, as like a master, you work with different instructors, right? How do you know when someone is like young and passionate? How do you know that they're fit to be a good instructor? Why is Kenny a good instructor?
I will.
It's the hair. Just kidding.
To what we talked about in the beginning. Why are you here? Some people are there only for themselves, which is fine, great. Everybody has to have a starting point. Eventually, once you've reconciled that, hey, I think I can do this for myself, you start to see that, hey, you know what? Maybe I can do this for other people as well. And that happens usually within the first 6 months of training. You can already see if somebody's willing to take it upon themselves to help others and to be a better example of how to do things in their whole life, rather than just, the guy that does the best armbar. Because there are better martial artists out there than myself, than Kenny, than Jackie Chan, than Jet Li. There are better martial artists out there, but what they do in their field is so much higher and better, that they are in front of us more. Yeah. And you can see that in the first 6 months of training. Okay, what's this person going to be doing? Is this person here because they want to look flashy? Or is this person here and actually talking to the other students, helping the other students? Are they taking it upon themselves to do it instead of, being told to? And you can see that right away with most students within the first 6 months, usually within the first 6 weeks. Now, personally, Kenny showed up and he had no idea what the heck he was doing, but he knew he wanted to do it. When, if my memory serves correctly, by that 6 months, so I was like, "Do you want to be an instructor? Do you want to? Is this something you've thought of and think of? Because either way, you're going to be great. You're going to be fine for your black belt. But if you do want to be an instructor, then here are the steps. These are your benchmarks, basically, in order to do that. And if you can do that, then you'll be an instructor. And for some people, they actually even check off all those boxes and they realize they don't want to be an instructor, which is fine. But you know what? They use those same principles in their other walks of life. It's insane, but yeah, Kung Fu is in everything. The principles are the same.
Wow. Amazing. There you go. You're here, folks. At 8-2 the show. Thank you, guys, for coming on. Master Alan, Instructor Novera. Much pleasure to have you on the show. Yes. Is there anything else you want to say or shout out before we wrap up here?
Don't be stuck in your mindset. We have taken our Kung Fu and our martial arts, and we've gone a lot of different places with it. I keep on reminding Kenny that he walked into a little Kung Fu school, and he's been a lot of different places because of Kung Fu.
Yes. Now, somehow I met Steven Seagal.
Yeah. So part of it's because he knows me, but no.
Yeah.
But mainly, we've done a lot of different things. Like I said, I have lightsabers on the wall. So we've actually created a saber martial arts foundation, which is on sabermartialarts.life.
All right, we'll link it below. Sounds good.
There's it's basically a collective of martial arts schools that also teach lightsaber. And they treat it like a lightsaber, so it's not like just a fencing school where they fence with a glow stick. No, it's actually set like a martial art. So there are ranks and there are things like that, and because we're nerds, they also add the Star Wars lore into it and stuff. But a lot of it is, again, why are you here, right? So that's one of the many things that we can do is now create something new and fun for other people to help get them off their couch because it's something else that they love. Because nowadays, that if you want to learn any kind of jiu-jitsu technique, you can just log on to YouTube, search for that specific technique, and there's a guy teaching you to do it. But are you doing it in the air? Do you have a friend that's willing to go through all the pain and heartache of teaching you how to do it and
right. Teaching how to tap?
Yeah, you have to teach them how to tap. You got to teach them all sorts of stuff. So if there are more martial artists out there, step outside of your comfort zone, step outside of your tradition. I'm not saying don't teach your tradition. I'm saying step outside of it and kind of look at it and see how many more people you can get into it in different ways. So for us, we chose a lightsaber.
Yeah.
So And I mean that's
Everyone
not the
can
only.
relate. Yeah, everyone can relate. Everyone can relate to the lightsaber. Everyone knows about the lightsaber, and it's fun.
That's why we chose it.
Yeah, the Darth Maul.
So,
Can you show us a move, Kenny? Yeah.
do a backflip. But no, if you do anything, if you're a martial artist or you're interested in martial arts, there is always somebody out there willing to teach you in the way you can be taught. It's just going to be hard to find that person unless you are in a community of people to do that. There's so many people that started off in our Saber martial arts program that have gone to do other martial arts because of it. Whether it be, hey, you know what, this is really cool, and I like the way that guy fights. Great. What's he do? He does Kali. Oh, can I look into Kali? Okay, great. Oh, what's that guy do? Oh, he does Kendo. Oh, great. You know what? Can I learn that? Yeah, specifically, and go through that tradition. So that's the last thing I would say is like Saber Martial Arts.life. It's a easier
Check it out.
to go into the description, but that's one of the things that martial artists can do to help their martial art is to come at it from a different way, be able to step outside of their tradition and kind of relax a little bit.
Yes.
It's a little bit
I mean,
some things are a little too stringent, but it really just depends on the person. So we have a saying that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So
wow. Exactly. Yeah, just try and then it'll come your way. As you said, you said a lot of things, but everyone's looking for like community, happiness, peace, calm, de-stress, physically move, feel good. And a lot of these things can come from martial arts, and there's so many different kinds of martial arts. You can definitely find something that fits your curiosity, and if you try it, who knows what can happen, or your life could change.
Yes.
Awesome. That's another episode of A2 the Show. Check it out. Awesome. Like, share, the subscribe, right? There's a big button, subscribe to us, and move your body. This is how we sign out. Salute.com and peace.
Yes. No such thing as rape apologies, and you act tough now, motherfucker. Wait till you're put in court. Anyways.
Stephanie, is there anything you want to say or shout out before we wrap up here?
If anything, I just want to say I just got emotional because I'm so proud. If the future of our generation and everyone is going to be like you guys with your mentality and your confidence and your interest in important topics that can make or break our life, then I'm really, really fucking proud of you, and I'm so happy to have this conversation with you.
Wait, are you actually tearing?
Yeah, man, I'm fucking emotional.
No, don't worry.
Stephanie, we can't just hang up. No, but I agree.